guys. Thank you so much for tuning back into my channel. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your suggestions. Thank you so very much for motivating me to continue this study. So today we'll be talking about happiness and the power of social connections. We all know what social connections are. Social connections are the relationships that we keep. They are our family members, they're our friends, they're our social networks, in terms of our online contact, our professional networks. They could be also our close friends and families. They could be our significant half and also our co-workers. We all know that social connections affect us positively or negatively. We know what these social connections mean to us as an individual. They either make us or they mar us. And that's why this study has been carried out in such a way that we manage our social connections, that we don't get carried away by the negatives. The world is a social world now where people say different stuff online. They bring out their intimate issues online. They cover intimate stuffs, and you wonder, why is this person not dealing with this matter privately? If you're from the part of the country that I come from, Nigeria, social media groups they're quite comic. They're full of drama, and that's the truth. And as a result, many people tend to either learn from these experiences, or some, regrettably, slope down into depression, and even some, take the hardest route, which is quite unfortunate, commit suicide. So social connections has a great impact on our lives. Either we accept it or not, directly or indirectly. The kind of people we roll with, the family we're born into, the kind of people that we have around us, our confidence, and the sorts of people we're surrounded with in general have a negative or positive effect in our lives and in our, going forward. And that's why we need to be careful of who we make our close friends. Yes, life experiences, one has come across a lot of bad experience. Plenty. I have, oh God, you don't even want me to go into the in-depth for you today. I have lots of, I've been called out on social media by a close friend. I have been, shamed, forget it. And because I deal with a lot of political critics on Facebook in particular, I get called out from time to time. And as if that's not enough, they come into my inbox. But being the stubborn person that I am, I'm going back, to give my 2 cents on the subject matter. And this is how social media or social connections can actually, you know, um, this is how it can actually affect us, and take a lot of our time. So we need to be careful of how we allow social media to affect us. The other day I was on Instagram. Instagram is quite a very interesting a platform where people come to show their riches, where people come to show their glamour, and it's like everybody has got one story or the other to share. There are lots of gossip mails on Instagram in particular, and I say to myself whenever I'm on Instagram, like, oh my God, I can imagine this person now. They're calling out how she's gonna feel, So this is how much social media or our social connections affect us, our relationships with our friends. Talking about friends, we have the good, the bad, the ugly, and you quite agree with me that at one point of our lives we all have the negative side of friendship. Your close ally, when you hear things they say about you, even some come out publicly to mock you. They know your story and they come out to mock you. Well, it's not the end of the world, and that's what this study is teaching us. How we can empower ourselves, how we can help ourselves to scale through all these negativities, and how we can see the positives. I will tell you, as bad as social connection is, you can make it. You can make it in the sense that you can keep the right group of people, and it can help you to attain even your future pursuit of happiness. They can give you that link to that contract. They can help you to broaden your scope. So at every point in time, we should always seek for the good of our interactions with people. And that's what this study is about. This study is about how we can mitigate the risk of social connections. And in addition to that, it also points out the how we can overcome the insecurities of the attachment that we have through social connections. I don't even want to start with the stories of families. A lot of people have different things to say about their family. But how can you get over that? That's what the study is all about. How you can, train your mind, how you can train yourself not to be carried away by social connections. So, and that's lead us to insecurities. A lot of people have insecurities about their look, and it's quite interesting. The other day I was watching this show on Netflix. It's called Skin, and honestly, I genuinely felt sorry for some people who chose the path of changing their self because of insecurities that they were faced with. They tend to later regret it in life. Even this famous I don't know if I'm right to call him a transgender, Bob Whiskey. He spoke about his choice of changing his skin, how he was carried away by the social expectations of a person, and genuinely he gave some good advice to people who are willing to listen. So I will encourage you guys, go and see that documentary. It's called Skin. It's called Skin, so go and watch it. I'm sure you're going to learn one or two things from this documentary. It's quite interesting, and it also changed my perceptions of how I see people who indulge in changing their outer look. You can't really blame them. These are people that have been affected as a result of the social connections that they keep. And so we should learn how to be less judgmental, because our judgment sometimes, our overly judgmental self sometimes bring about insecurities about other people. Insecurities can lead to a lot of things, can lead to anxiety, can lead to them losing their self-worth and dignity. It can, mean that some people become so cold, they become aloof. So we need to be careful how we manage, our social connections and how we see other people. We should be less judgmental. We should calm down with our standards. I know, right? Because every one of us we're quite opinionated about how a person should look or how a person should carry themselves socially. So we need to be very careful about that. This will lead me to happiness and compassion. And compassion simply means showing empathy to the sufferings of another people. And if you remember in my last video, we talked about altruism, where I said altruism is about you showing some empathy to people, even at the detriment of your own comfort. It's basically selflessness. So the compassion have taught us that we should show empathy. We should show we should show empathy, we should show love to the other people, can also bring about our individual happiness. When you help someone, you have a sense of contentment that yes, in my own little way, I was able to help that lady who sought my help, in terms of our needs. We tend to have that joy within us. The gratifications that we have when we do these things really matters to our own well-being and mental state. So that's what basically the study of compassion and happiness, the happiness and compassion has really pointed out. And also it's also make emphasis on our listening ability, on touch, how smoothing it is, how calm it makes a person feel. It also talks about I'll be looking into my notes now. It's also talk about how our voice can actually bring about happiness in other people, the kind of words we say. And specifically when I was going through this study, what actually got my attention most was effective listening. A lot of times when people come to us with their problems, we tend to have a premeditated answers to their problems. We tend to prefer solution. And what this study has taught me is that we should learn how to listen more rather than preferring solution. It's okay just to listen. Do not give any form of advice. You can call them after 2 or 3 days to say, you know what, based on what you said to me the other day, I had a thought about it, and I would like to suggest if you could do this things this way, or change the way you do things, rather than giving them an instantaneous answers. I am fond of doing that. When people come to me for problem, like, oh, you should go and try this, you should go and try that. So now I have learned that it's always good to listen more to people, and this would, while you're listening, you're giving them a sense of comfort when you listen to them. Empathy itself is comfort. So we should learn to have compassion over other people and their situations. Yes, I know the world is a bit cold nowadays, and you cannot fault people for being who they are or what they are. So, and this brings us to that we should be less judgmental as well. And there's a lot of things that have made people to be the way they are, maybe from past experiences. They've helped people, and in turn they get a negative remarks from these people they've helped. It could be that they're not equipped at the time. So many times you say, oh, my uncle didn't give me the money I asked him. You're not sure even if your uncle has a penny in his bank account. So these are the barriers to compassion, where people feel that, oh, they are just morally disengaged with that person when they've lost power, they've lost control over the situation. So we need to be careful how we relate to one another. And also, quite importantly, we should learn how to show genuine empathy. When we show genuine empathy, people tend to trust us. We have a sense of contentment within us. We have a sense of being a hero, if you allow me to use that word. So guys, I'm going to stop here today. As I said, I'm trying to make this video not more than 10 minutes. Unfortunately, it's 13 minutes now. So we stop this today, and hopefully tomorrow, or if I have the time later on today, I'll make more videos and I'll put them on YouTube. Feel free, guys, to watch my video on YouTube. Press the like button, press the subscribe button. Take a minute or two to drop 1 or 2 suggestions or contributions to the topics I'll be bringing to you guys. Thank you very much. I remain myself, Yetunde. Thank you for your love. Bye.